For me, I think the biggest thing that football taught me was how to overcome adversity.
At some point in your life, you're going to have some tough times.
You have to have that next play mentality.
That cohesiveness and that working together, that's really something special that you can't get in a lot of other areas.
When you practice that and you live that in other phases of your life, it becomes second nature because all you know how to do is fight.
It's not an easy game. If it were easy, everyone would do it.
You start to appreciate the smaller contributions that people make. You don't just look at the big one because you knew it took 6 or 7 other guys who are unsung.
And you can't take shortcuts and be successful.
Doing what they do to make it possible for the guy getting the press clippings or whatever it might be.
In this game, whether it's as a coach or a player.
So I would certainly say that you definitely got a very quick lesson in how to overcome adversity playing football.
Welcome to FootballGameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, here at MetLife Stadium, bring you another edition of 4 Downs with the Czar, where the New York Giants knocked off the Dallas Cowboys by the score of 10-7. Let's start this thing off with some offensive takeaways from the first half for the New York Giants. Their offensive line had issues keeping Dallas out of the backfield all first and second quarter long. It really curtailed what they were able to do offensively. That offensive line, especially on the outside, those offensive tackles have to do a better job moving forward if this team wants to make some real noise in the playoffs. You also look at Eli Manning's placement was off on his passes throughout the entire first half. Just a bit outside, just a bit thrown low, just a bit high over the heads of the receivers. They couldn't really get into a groove. But again, the offensive line had issues, but Eli's placement was all over the place in that first half. But I did like how he got the tight ends involved early and often. You saw Jarrell Adams make a play. You saw Will Tye have a catch. You also saw those two guys do a great job in the run blocking department. So the tight ends getting involved early only bodes well for this offense moving forward. And again, there was no real running game to speak of for the Giants. That's one area of their offense where they have to get better. You start to see some things click in the second half, and we'll get to that in a minute. But early on in the first and second quarter, they really couldn't get anything going on the ground. Now let's move over to second down offensive takeaways for the Dallas Cowboys. Quite honestly, their running game was excellent. They had the off-tackle run play all game long, all half long. Let's talk about that first and second quarter. They could have ran off tackle anytime they wanted to. Offensive tackles was doing a great job reach blocking. Tight ends were doing a great job sealing, allowing Ezekiel Elliott to get to the outside. So anytime they wanted to run off tackle, they had that in the first half. They just got away from it in the second half. Dak Prescott had one of his worst days in the NFL. He was a little off target in that first half, a bit outside, a bit low, just like Eli Manning was. It was almost like he was mirroring what Eli Manning was doing from an ineffective standpoint. I think that's something that showed his rookie side in this ball game. Again, he's been playing like a veteran all season long, but in the first half of this game, he really was playing like a rookie. But he started getting going in that second half when they went no huddle, up tempo, pushing the ball down the field, trying to get points before the half. It just didn't happen. Now, he did a great job in the second quarter, coming off of play action where he found a streaking wide open Terrence Williams on an over route in the end zone for a touchdown. It was the perfect pass thrown, the perfect play call to a wide open Williams. Let's look at some first half defensive takeaways for the New York Giants. You start to see why they invested a lot of money within their front four, also why they went ahead and drafted Eli Apple on the back end and made a lot of moves they made in the secondary. Those two units I thought played exceptionally well. They were able to get pressure on Dak Prescott on the back end. They were able to utilize a lot of one-on-one coverage, not really having a lot of safeties back deep or help over top. Those corners held their own 1 through 3 against this Cowboys receiving core. And outside of that one coverage bust to Terrence Williams that was a touchdown, the Giants secondary played extremely well. You also look at the run defense on the inside. Defensive tackles did a great job. Hankins and also Harrison did a great job clogging the inside run against Dallas. Dallas ran the football well outside, but they couldn't get anything going downhill because those Giants defensive tackles played a great game. Looking at some first half defensive takeaways for the Dallas Cowboys, they were in the face of Eli Manning constantly. They really take advantage of those offensive tackles of the New York Giants and were constantly getting pressure on Eli, which really shut down their passing game. You also look at the fact that their safety play was excellent. They did a great job versus the run, flying up in the alley to stop the short passing game. I thought safety play for Dallas when they were asked to play deep, when they were asked to play in the hole in the alley, they did a great job. So I thought those two guys did a great job back there. And Sean Lee was tremendous all game long. Let's just talk. We're talking about the first half, but all game long, he was playing great linebacker play. He was showing great linebacker play all game versus the run, stopping the run at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage, in the passing game, jumping in the passing windows, taking away those short routes. So Sean Lee, I thought, did a great job today. But again, just for the first half, he did a great job. But actually, he did a fantastic job in the third and fourth quarters as well. Moving on to the second half, offensive takeaways for the Giants. Again, sputtering offensive attack, but the one big play they needed, they got it from their big playmaker, Odell Beckham Jr., taking a short pass a long way. I haven't seen someone that explosive after the catch since Joey Galloway donned an NFL uniform. This was a guy that was doing a great job all game long running routes. He had the case of the dropsies early on, but the one big catch he made, they needed it, and it ended up being a touchdown, and also ended up being the deciding points in this ball game. Second half offensive takeaways for the Dallas Cowboys. It was more of the same. They really couldn't get anything going. Dak Prescott forced a pass deep down the field that ended up getting intercepted. So again, the passing game was out of sync. The offense couldn't really establish that balance. Although they had some success running outside, they didn't stick with it enough to where they can really work their play action passing game. I thought they got a little bit one-dimensional in the second half, which is ultimately the reason why they could not come away victorious against New York. Moving on to fourth down, Giants defensive takeaways in the second half. Once again, the secondary I thought was outstanding. Landon Collins, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, Eli Apple, Janoris Jenkins making a play on the ball as well. All those guys I thought did an excellent job. Also, Andrew Adams did a great job as well, playing the deep safety, as well as Leon Hall, who showed up big time this game for the New York Giants. So again, I was just very impressed with the secondary, but this has been a story we've talked about all summer long. Their secondary has played exceptionally well all season, and it's a big reason why they find themselves at 9-4 on the year. Second half defensive takeaways for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, their defense didn't play bad. The defense actually played great. And I thought when you look at what they were able to do from a second level standpoint, they really frustrated the intermediate passing game for Eli Manning and that Giants offense. Also, Anthony Brown made a big play on that far end of the end zone of the field, making an interception, stopping a Giants drive in their tracks, and they really couldn't get anything going offensively. Their defense played well enough to win this ball game. Their offense didn't bring their A game, which is why they ended up losing 10-7. Offensive player of the game for the New York Giants, I will have to go with Odell Beckham Jr. He made the key play that ended up giving the Giants the points needed to win this contest. Taking a short pass a long way. You need your game breakers to step up at the most crucial times, and he did so in a great fashion. Really got the crowd going as well. Defensive player of the game for the New York Giants. I'm not going to give it to a player, although everyone on that defense played well, but defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo called an outstanding game from a fit standpoint, from a coverage standpoint, from a matchup standpoint. They really gave the Dallas Cowboys fits in every facet of their passing game, and also really shut down Ezekiel Elliott for the most part. Again, he had success running outside, but for the most part, they really shut him down in this contest. So defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, I think, should get player of the game. Offensive player of the game for the Dallas Cowboys, quite honestly, I'm going to give it to Tyron Smith, the offensive tackle. He did a great job all game long from a pass protection standpoint, and also in the run blocking department. He got outside on one outside run play and really laid into Eli Apple, a cornerback trying to fly up and make a tackle. So Tyron Smith, I thought, did a great job for the Dallas Cowboys and well deserving of the offensive player of the game. Defensive player of the game, we talked about this before, but Sean Lee, the linebacker, I thought played outstanding. He was all over the field versus the run. His run fits were excellent. In the passing game, I thought he did a great job as well, just doing a great job getting in those passing windows and taking away a lot of short things for Eli Manning, and also chasing plays down sideline to sideline on those shorter routes. So Sean Lee, defensive player of the game for the Dallas Cowboys. So that's a wrap from MetLife Stadium. I'm Emery Hunt, the Czar of the Playbook. Be sure to check out all of our other 4 Down with the Czar segments on our website at footballgameplan.com/4downs with the Czar.